NCAA basketball totals for Friday, December 9th. We got 3 games on the card today. Not a lot of action going on Friday, a ton of action on Saturday, of course. But this is what we got for our games today. We're going to be looking at 3 plays over on all of these plays for Friday. And the first one we're going to look at is Georgia Southern and Minnesota. But before we talk about that, don't forget to check out SBR for all the odds, totals, all the sports book reviews. We have it all there at the website. So be sure to check us out as well. Don't forget, we got the NBA segment going on as well. Currently, we have a winning record in both the NCAA and the NBA total segment. So just check it out and, play it, fade it, get some information and make a good decision. But be sure to check out SBR. Lot of great stuff there. All the articles, again, blacklists, sports books to avoid, lots of good stuff. Okay, I can't say that enough. Here we go. First one we got on the card today, Georgia Southern, Minnesota. Now, the first 2 games up, we have our Georgia Southern, Minnesota, and Wake Forest and UNC Greensboro. These both opened up at 146. And these lines moved really quickly. So I grabbed them where I thought was going to be right, after not a lot of time. And Georgia Southern, Minnesota, they went down to 141. But I'm still going to take the over. I was going to take the over probably at 146, but I'm glad I got it at 141 because I think they get over. These are 2 good teams here. I'll talk more about the Wake Forest Greensboro one where that line went in just a second. But Minnesota's playing really well so far this year. They're going at a nice tempo. Georgia Southern, they got basically everybody back. They have one of the best players in the Sun Belt in Tukey Brown. He's probably player of the year. He's just a sophomore. And they got some scorers. So I think they can get over this total. I think the tempo is going to be there. So I'm going to take over the 141. Right now we got Georgia Southern. They're averaging 76.7 points per game. Minnesota, they're averaging 75.7. Minnesota is allowing 66. Georgia Southern, they're allowing 76. But what I like here is the tempo with the away team coming in as Georgia Southern. They're averaging 62.7 attempts per game. That ranks in the top 40 in the country. And Minnesota, they're allowing, which I think is key for this type of for this matchup at least to get us over this totals. They're allowing 64.3 attempts per game. That ranks as one of the worst in the country. They're really allowing teams to get up and down the floor. You look at some of their scores over the last few games, Georgia Southern, they put up 82 in a loss to Florida Gulf Coast. They put up 94 against Savannah State. Then they played some, slower pace teams. So Minnesota will be the best team they've played so far this season. Arguably, well, they did. NC State's decent, so it'll, between those two, so they're gonna have to bring their A game. They're a smaller conference team. Minnesota's pretty decent this year. We'll just have to see how it all plays out, but I think they're gonna get over. Minnesota, they've been over this total a couple times this year, and I think they're gonna get over today. They're both shooting the ball decently well. You got Minnesota. They're shooting. 1 second here. They're shooting 43.8% from the floor. That's not bad. And Georgia Southern, they're shooting over 43%. They're shooting 34% from distance. Minnesota, they're shooting almost 35% from distance. Defensively, Georgia Southern, they're giving up a lot, allowing teams to shoot over 46%. Minnesota, they've been good. This gives me a little bit pause on this game, but I think Georgia Southern's going to be able to score. Minnesota's been great, actually, not just good. They're allowing just 35.8% shooting from the floor from their opponents. That's 7th in the country. That is really solid, but the tempo will be there. And I think Georgia Southern is going to be able to score. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to back over that 141 where it dropped really quickly from 146. Next one up we got is Wake Forest and UNC Greensboro. Pretty good matchup here. Wake Forest, we got Danny Manning. Boy, they really did not play a lot of defense last year. They were one of the worst teams in the ACC in scoring defense. They might have been the worst. Really started off well and had a really bad season. They've been pretty decent so far this year, and they're coming in. But UNC Greensboro, they're no joke. They won several of their last games, so this could be a good matchup. Right now, it's at 147.5. It went from 146 to 147.5. It looks like it's going to go up, so you might want to pay attention to this line. It might go up to like 150. I still like the over, so I'm taking it at 147.5 over the total. Wake Forest are averaging 82.4 points per game. UNC Greensboro, not a lot at 66.3, but pretty good tempo from both these teams. Wake Forest, again, not a lot of defense, allowing 72.3 points per game, and Greensboro, they're allowing 60.7. So, the issue is this is at Greensboro as well. So is Wake Forest going to be able to push the tempo? I think they're going to be able to. They go pretty fast, and they're shooting the ball rather well. Right now, they're averaging over 48% from the floor. And UNC Greensboro, not that great, though, at 42%. However, they shoot the three rather well, almost 37% from distance. That's really good. And they like to shoot it, getting up over 24 attempts per game. And they knock down 9 of them a game. That ranks in about the top 50 of the country. So not bad. Not bad from UNC Greensboro. The tempo should be there to get us over the 147.5. You got Wake Forest, they're averaging 58 attempts per game. Greensboro, they're averaging over 57. Now, will Greensboro play at a slower tempo? That's the issue. But we've seen them in the last, over the last several games. They put up some points, and Wake Forest still is not a very good defensive team. So I'm imagining they're going to get up and down the floor and get over this 147.5. Both these teams are decently efficient in scoring the ball, decently efficient, not great. Greensboro will be better because they're at home. So look for them to score. Wake Forest won't be able to hold them down, but I think Wake's going to be able to score as well. So look for this to get up and down and to get over that 147.5. Last one up, Longwood and Creighton. This also went up a couple points last time I looked at it, but I got them at 156. Right now I think it's at 158. I'm taking over the total. So all overs for today. This is mostly based on Creighton because they're so stupid fast. They could really score. Can Longwood keep up? Longwood traditionally has been a really up-tempo team. I think they're going to be able to score enough tonight. I think Creighton's going to score between 90 and 100. So they should be able to get over this 156. Longwood should be able to score. Creighton, they're averaging 89.2 points per game. That's ranking 6th in the country. Longwood, not great at 67, but the tempo is really good. They're averaging over 57 attempts per game. Creighton, they're averaging over 62, but they're so efficient. I mean, they're going to score a lot. They're shooting 54% from the floor. They're ranked 2nd in the country. Man, they could score. That's a good squad. Creighton's going to be tough this year. Longwood, can they score? Only if Creighton allows them to. Really, that's what it's going to come down to. I think since it's at Creighton, I think they're going to go ahead and just get up and down the floor all night. And, that's just the way I see it. Right now, Longwood, they do like to shoot the three. If they could knock some down, if they could score 70, this is going way over. But if they could score like even over 60, I think there's a decent shot of getting this over 156 because Creighton's going to score over 90. And, that's about it. I mean, Longwood, they haven't played some really fast-paced teams either. I think the key for them tonight is they're facing a Creighton team that really can get up and down the floor. That's going to fit right into their up-tempo style. So that should be helpful. They're going to get blown out. I mean, they're going to lose by over 20, but they should be able to score enough to help get us over this total. There we have it. All right, we got our 3 games today for NCAA basketball. Quick recap: we got Georgia Southern, Minnesota over the 141. Lines are moving, so pay attention to where they're going. Wake Forest, UNC Greensboro over 147.5. That's going to be a really good matchup. Don't be surprised if Greensboro pulls the upset either. And then we got Longwood and Creighton over the 156. Again, check all the odds. Check SBR to see where the lines are moving. Those are my NCAA picks, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.